Hello, in this video we will discuss about the allergic reaction and Mast or basophil activation to change physiology. So what will be happen when the Mast cell will be activated? So in this video we are understanding the allergic reaction due to the allergens or due to some reason. So and Mast cell will be activated to as a effector mast cell will produce the inflammatory mediator is known as histamines. So this phase of allergic exposure is first is the sensitization when first exposure, while the second one after this re-exposure will lead to cause the allergic reaction. But in this way the first exposure also produce the allergic reaction. So let's begin to understand what is this. So this is the allergen when enter into the person, and the antigen presenting cell will recognize these allergens and endocytose to show through a MSC class 1 molecule through antigen presenting cell via a T helper cell, and T helper cell will proliferate into the T helper 2 cell, and this T helper 2 cell produce cytokines. This cytokine will activate and recruit the B cell. After the B cell recruitment, they recognize the allergen through T helper cell or without T helper cell, but with T helper cell is very important through MSC class 1 molecule. And in this way the B cell will proliferate into the B memory cell and plasma cell, which that you know already. If so, in this way plasma cell produce a lot of immunoglobulin antibody. This antibody is bind with the IgE antibody, which that bind with the FC epsilon receptor immunoglobulin. After this binding, the two subunit of the antibody will combine with the allergen to release the mast cell degranulation to produce histamine, and other mediator also produce, but we are just focusing the histamine. So in this way the basophil work like this, but basophil produce another mediators for allergic reaction, but in this way we will focus on the mast cell. So this is the allergen which that will again bind after the re-exposure. So the successive exposure to allergen and the IgE receptor will bind, and the FC epsilon receptor immunoglobulin, and in this way histamine will release due to the degranulation of mast cell. So the mediators release when it will target to the vasodilation, vasoconstriction or inflammation. So three mechanisms, and the bronchoconstriction lead to bronchitis and coughing fever, which that is the possible sign and symptom of the allergic reaction. So let's here is the mast cell which that produced after the degranulation produce histamine, and it will target to the different tissue by the different receptor. So histamine 1, 2, 3 and 4 receptor are present. The histamine 1 which that contain G alpha 9 11 receptor containing protein, which that is the G coupled protein receptor. After this binding, the allergic inflammation first we will discuss. So allergic inflammation, which that is alteration of vascular permeability, extravasation to lead to edema, and after this edema the adhesion molecule which that will stimulate to inflammatory cell migration will due to the recruitment through a production of the inflammation to produce the inflammatory cytokines, which that recruit the monocyte, macrophage and neutrophil, lead to increase the inflammation again and again. So this is the allergic inflammation due to the H1 receptor. While on the other hand the histamine receptor 2, H2 receptor, which that contains G alpha 1 and S protein, alpha and S subunit containing protein, which that will lead to gastric acid secretion. So how it is possible? Both are low affinity receptors, remember, and affinity is less. So the regulation of gastric acid secretion and immune cell differentiation in the digestive tract, the gastrointestinal tract, and adaptive immune response will be occur. This adaptive immune response due to the B cell which that produce the immunoglobulin. While these two receptor H3 and H4 is containing high affinity, it means more binding when the histamine will be less, but it can be bind. So in this way here is the high affinity. In this way the neurotransmission, which the regulation of neuronal histamine turnover and autoreceptors and neuronal function, cognition and heteroreceptor. In this way the nerve impulse will be occur due to the it will bind with the nerves, so the neuron. And on the other hand, the histamine 4 contain also high affinity, will bind with the G, alpha, I and O, G coupled protein receptor, as well as beta arrestin. In this way, the immune cell chemotaxis will be occur. Immune cell and immunomodulation will lead to immune cell chemotaxis and lead to trigger the immune response inflammation. Lead to produce cytokines will recruit the dendritic cell, T cell, macrophage, monocyte. And in this way, the recruitment toward the immune response, toward the inflammation. So this is the allergic reaction and mast cell which that will change the physiological aspects. So let's begin to understand the signaling pathway in the histamine. When bind with the histamine, that generally we will understand here is the alpha beta trimeric subunit, which that alpha subunit contain GDP will be activated through ATP or GTP to convert GDP or ADP to activate, and in this way the G coupled protein receptor contain histamine receptor 2, 3 and 4. So here likewise you can understand this is the mast cell which that bind with the allergen lead to due to the lead to target cell which that is here, you can understand. So in this way here is the alpha GTP activation will lead to a cascade of phosphorylation by different manner on the basis of the receptor. So here is the histamine 3 and 4 receptor will increase the potassium channel, will lead to increase the calcium mobilization from the endoplasmic reticulum into the cytoplasm, and this will lead to calcium mobilization. And on the other hand, the alpha GTP, which that will phospholipase C, will trigger the IP3 pathway and protein kinase C, the same mechanism H1 receptor, while the adenylate cyclase enzyme used to activate the Krebs cycle protein and phosphorylation through cyclic AMP, and the protein kinase A through H2 receptor, histamine 2 receptor. So this is the video about the allergic reaction and mast cell activation. So this is the same basophil also work. So thanks, bye.